I am Thomas, and we are in the Cypress Hill Cemetery. Today, we will speak about very interesting subject matter and pay our respects to the Fox sisters.
Here are the Fox sisters: Maggie, Kate, and Leah. In particular, we will deal with Maggie and Kate, and Leah will come in later. But in March of 1848, two young sisters in Hydesville, New York, came up with what they thought may have, what they considered to be a fun prank. Teenager Maggie Fox and her younger sister Kate claimed that there was a spirit communicating with them by making otherworldly raps on the walls and furniture of their house. When their mother asked how many children she had, the spirit appeared to rap out the correct number. One of their neighbors reportedly witnessed these sounds, and word spread that there was something strange going on at the Fox house. Now, Maggie and Kate made these noises by cracking their knuckles, toes, and other joints, a fact that Maggie confessed to the New York World 40 years later in 1888. And by that point, the childhood prank had spun completely out of control, and now the adult sisters had become famous mediums. The Fox sisters and their public seances helped spark a spiritualism craze on the belief that it was possible for living humans to communicate with the dead. Soon after Maggie and Kate's supernatural discoveries, the girls went to live with their older sister Leah in Rochester. When the supernatural occurrences occurred, Leah decided to turn this into, let's just say, a little bit of a business. In November of 1849, at Rochester's Corinthian Hall, Maggie and Kate demonstrated their powers to a paying crowd of nearly 400 people. Newspapers began to report on the girls, and the sisters soon held public demonstrations in New York City. Plenty of people denounced the girls as fakes, though, and some correctly guessed that the sisters were just, cracking their joints. But many others believed that they were witnessing a true spiritual phenomenon. Soon, other people began to open their own shows in which they claimed to be mediums who could communicate with the dead. Now, one of the key aspects that differentiated the spiritualism craze from the religious and spiritual beliefs that came from before it was its connection to the growing media and entertainment industries in the United States and Europe. People in the business of spiritualism, they gave paid theatrical performances, featuring elaborate lighting, music, table tipping, seances. The Fox sisters became celebrities, and so did two other self-proclaimed mediums. In 1850s, Ira and William Davenport, they became famous for what was essentially a magic show, whose tricks they attributed to spiritual intervention. Many stage magicians differentiated themselves from the spiritualists like the Davenport brothers by exposing what spiritualists did as a hoax. Something which, during that time, illusionists Harry Houdini later became famous for. Despite these exposures, spiritualism remained extremely popular throughout the 19th century. Now, not everyone who attended spiritualism shows believed what they were seeing. Some went as skeptics who wanted to see for themselves if there was anything convincing about what the Fox sisters or other mediums did. Some attendees may have gone simply for the entertainment value. Yet, for many people, demonstrations of spiritualism were not only believable, but deeply comforting. Like, for example, during and after the Civil War, many Americans found solace in the idea that they could communicate with the people that they had lost. One of these people was Mary Todd Lincoln, Abe Lincoln's wife. During Abraham Lincoln's presidency, the First Lady held seances in the White House to try to communicate with her dead children. The spiritualism craze also found many followers in Europe. After the death of Queen Victoria's husband, Prince Albert, in 1861, the Queen had held many seances in Buckingham Palace to talk to him. Maggie's confession to the New York World in 1888 that her and her system's communication with the dead had been a hoax, as well as a public demonstration of how she cracked joints to make rapping noises, was big news among people interested in spiritualism. At the public demonstration, attended by Kate and held shortly after the publication of Maggie's confession, the New York Herald reported that Maggie was greeted with cheers and hisses. When I began this deception, I was too young to know right from wrong, Maggie told the crowd, according to the Herald. Here is the grave of the Fox sisters. That I have been mainly instrumental in perpetrating the fraud of spiritualism upon a too confiding public, many of whom you already know. It is the greatest sorrow of my life, end quote. Yet for believers, the news was not necessarily a blow to spiritualism's credibility. There are a lot of situations in which a spiritualist's mediums were caught faking, committing fraud, or spiritualist mediums made declarations similar to Maggie's confession. But these never really stopped people from believing it. Now, it isn't clear what motivated Maggie to confess that it had been all a hoax in 1888, nor is it clear why exactly she recanted that confession the next year. Now, regardless of Maggie's and Kate's true feelings about their careers as mediums, the spiritualist craze they had unwittingly helped continued to be popular well into the 20th century. Once again, this is the Cypress Hill Cemetery, the grave of Maggie Fox and Catherine Fox. Again, the Fox sisters are located in Cypress Hill Cemetery. Many famous people here. Jackie Robinson, Mae West, to name a few. Very interesting. Kind of was a craze and kind of fooled everyone, or did they? I'll leave that for you to make your own judgment. Their the final resting spot. It has a marker to it. That means it's in constant care by the staff of the cemetery here. So I just wanted to share this quick video. Very interesting case. I hope all is well. Oh, and Leah, her sister, is actually buried in Greenwood Cemetery, I believe, here in the Bronx. I do have that video as well.